What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another self-care video. Again, I'm Ray Bay Glam. If you have not already, take the time right now to subscribe, like this video, and comment on the topic, honey, that we're about to get into. So I did a poll on Facebook and Instagram, and this video was highly requested. So I hope you guys get to watch it and enjoy it. This self-care video today, we're going to talk about how to set healthy boundaries in relationships. So in my opinion, lack of boundaries in relationships invites lack of respect in relationships. Unfortunately, society has normalized dysfunction, and I'm here to lay out some of the top couple of things that I feel like should be held in a relationship, some boundaries that I feel will make our relationships more healthier, happier, and successful. One boundary that I feel like a lot of people cross, we're going to get into it. We should be able to talk to each other without hitting below the belt and then apologizing about why we hit below the belt due to being in our feelings or upset. You gotta check that behavior the first time it happens. Set boundaries as, okay, this is my breaking point, this is off limits for me while we're arguing. Make sure to just not say this while you're in the middle of an argument too. A lot of times we do that, it's not really received. A lot of times when we want to have a message received, we have to say it in a loving way. If I just want to put information out there, I can just say it any type of way because I don't care how it comes out. But if you want someone to actually receive it, you have to say it in a loving way. You have to be more mindful of how you are conveying your message, especially when you're trying to come in a loving way because you love the person you're with. Make sure you're saying, I have set boundaries in a loving manner. Do this while you're in a healthy space, okay? Make sure him or her understands that this is your boundary when you're arguing, and if it's crossed again, then that may end your relationship. Now, you gotta enforce it, okay? Idle threats just makes your words go through one ear and out the other. Your words will not hold weight in the relationship. If you just constantly say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and it doesn't happen. So once you set your boundaries and they're clear and you guys understand this is what cannot be said in an argument or disagreement, and if that person continuously oversteps that boundary, then not only you have to enforce that and stand on that. Even if it hurts you, even if you really wish you want to give another chance, because we teach people how to treat us right. So you have to respect yourself enough. Once you show respect for yourself, then that person in your relationship, you're in a relationship with, whether you end it or not, they're gonna respect you enough to implement your boundary, or respect you enough to be like, okay, she ended the relationship or he ended the relationship, and this is on me because we agreed about this boundary and I just could not meet to that standard, and go about their life knowing that they got respect for you. But you got to respect yourself enough to set that boundary and let that be known and let it be. Enforce it, let it go. A second way I feel like we need to start enforcing healthy boundaries is with our morals and values. Now, I don't recommend you getting with someone that do not have the same morals and values as you, or at least the similar morals and values that you have, because naturally our relationships are going to have their turmoil, their ups and downs, okay? So you don't want to add on to the inevitable. So that's just my recommendation. Do not get in relationships with people that do not share or have very similar morals and values than you. But if you happen to get a relationship with someone that does not have no morals or no values, make sure you set your morals and values with them right then and there. This should be done in the courting dating stage, not when you decide to, okay, let's get into a complete relationship now, or let's get married now. You should set your morals and values, allow them to hear your morals and values, either accept or deny them. And if you're the receiving part of that party, make sure you are being honest that you can or cannot accept those morals or values. For example, let's say you're married and you want to spice up some things in the relationship in the bedroom and you want to have a threesome. Okay, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like the marriage bedroom is between the husband and the wife. I'm not in the poly, whatever, sharing, swapping, all that type of stuff that a lot of people are into today. That's not me. But say if you feel the same way I feel about it and your husband or your wife really didn't know that. So now you're set with the dilemma is, am I wrong for not giving my husband or my wife what they want, or am I wrong for not expressing that I will not be able to do that before we got married? You see what I'm saying? Now you're caught in, I want to please my husband or my wife, but I also have these morals and standards that I blindly want them to follow because you didn't express those things in the beginning. So that's just a perfect example of setting standards and boundaries when it comes to your morals and values, because someone's going to end up getting hurt in the situation, or you are going to be put in a situation that allows you to undermine your morals and values, and then that's not fair to you. Then you become resentful to that partner, or and it just puts you in an awkward position. Before you know it, you lose your morals and values. So that is my second tip on boundaries. When it comes to your morals and values, you have to set healthy boundaries to have a happy relationship. The third one is let your relationship breathe, okay?
Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up! Stand up!
Yes, in the beginning of a relationship, you may want to be under your man or your woman 24/7. But as relationships progress, and I will argue as the relationship matures to more adult responsibilities, giving each other space is a healthy and needed thing for relationship. If you are like me, you need to you need to express that in the beginning of the relationship and set healthy boundaries with your time. I'm not just talking about physical in your face time, but I'm also talking about with your life, your goals, your social media, etc. Even when it goes to blocking somebody because they're not respecting your space.
I think we ain't done yet.
You personally?
I think we ain't done yet.
Some people can be overbearing. And although that may come off as sweet and innocent and loving, and some would argue that overbearing person actually loves the person that's not overbearing more. But I would argue that overbearingness does not necessarily equate love. Sometimes, a lot of times, people that are overbearing are dealing with controlling issues. They're dealing with separation anxiety. You know what I'm saying? It's really not necessarily about you. They have a fear of being alone, a fear of just not getting their way. And that's not love. That's just fear and control. So never confuse the two, okay? Overbearing does not mean I love you more. It's really about that person and not necessarily about you. Just try to remember we're in a relationship. This means that you're taking two imperfect people with their own flaws and dislikes together and compromising. Compromise and relationship, that's like hand in hand. If you are with a person that requires a healthy space, then the loving thing to do is to give them their space. If you keep forcing your presence in their life, not only will you end up with exactly what you didn't want, which is less time with them, they're going to eventually take away the time that they gave you in the beginning, and you'll end up with nothing. Again, you must enforce and stand on that boundary. If you are dealing with an overbearing partner, make sure you need and say these things in a loving manner. Make sure you even give them extra reassurance. Sometimes, like I said previously, the overbearing partner is just as afraid to be alone. They want control. They feel like they're losing control if they're not with you 24/7. If they're not talking to you 24/7. If you're not posting them or talking about them or including them to every little goal you have, then they feel like they're losing control. If you have that type of partner, just try to reassure them. But it's not your job to build up their confidence when you have already shown consistent loyalty to that person. So if you're a loyal person, but you like your space, and this person is 5-10 years down the line, they're still having issues with one, questioning your loyalty, questioning why they're here, questioning why you choosing them, then now it's on them. So I'm not saying you're responsible for making them feel secure. That's on them. But you want to leave less window to say that you did not assure them. So make sure in a loving way you assure them and let them know that you're here, and give people time to miss each other. Like, how can I miss you when I just got off the phone with you? Or I just saw you last week. Like, I feel like that word is used in the wrong context. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we miss certain things about people, or certain ways about people, or maybe we hear a song or a thing like that, but sometimes that's it. It doesn't mean they're your lifelong partner. It doesn't mean that they need to be with you forever. It's just that song reminded you of them, or they took you to this sushi place and now it reminds you of them. But it doesn't mean I need a reconnection. I need to be with this person. This is the person I live with. We as humans, we associate events and buildings and smells and scents with the people we are surrounded with. Just surround yourself with other people. And if you no longer miss that person, then it's not the person you miss. It's just you familiarizing yourself with certain areas again. So that's just my tip. All right, this next one. How much support is too much support? When is it now called leeching? Okay, y'all know you gotta set boundaries. You gotta set boundaries, okay? Now, I know no one wants to hear this, but unless you two are married, it is not the responsibility of your partner to financially stabilize you. Let me say that again. Unless you two are married, it is not your partner or your responsibility to financially stabilize them. And like I said previously, the world has unfortunately normalized a lot of dysfunction. Now, I'm not saying it's not nice to help out a struggling mate or that you should not do it. I'm not saying that, because I think no one's on 100% of the time. But you need to set healthy boundaries to not only get your partner back on track, but to also protect yourself from drainage, okay? For example, let's say your girlfriend lost her job, okay? She has no savings and she has to pay her rent, utilities, etc. What should you do? Now, I know most men that are able and willing will step up and pay her bills, no questions asked. Even some will allow her to stay with them until she gets her life together. But here is where the relationships can potentially become parasitic and drain the guy. If you do not set boundaries, you have to see where her plan is. See where her head is. Maybe that's sitting down and budgeting with her. Maybe that she'll have to miss that $500 lace front a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But you have to throw the responsibility back on her for her life and her being. Before you know it, you'll have a grown dependent that you can't file taxes on. This world got people thinking, I exist, pay my bills. Well, I exist too, pay my bills. Okay? Like, where does it end? Seriously, it is in a man's DNA to provide. We know that. So when you have a man that's willing to help do that for you, appreciate that, but don't demand it. It's not his responsibility unless you guys are married. And even when you are married, you got to do what works for you guys. So it may not necessarily always mean the man brings home the money. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, most men, I want to say most men that are financially stable and secure and know they got a good woman does not mind allowing their woman to stay home. In fact, matter of fact, most men that I know, even men that are quote unquote poor or broke, want to get to a point in their life where they can put their wife up in a house and allow her to raise the kids, or if you don't even want to have kids. Most men don't want to put their women out in the workforce. Most men. Now, I'm not even going to say, okay. So appreciate the man that actually does do for you, because there's a difference from being self-sufficient. Like, I'm self-sufficient, but I am very feminine and soft. I'm waiting for the day where I can have balance, but there's a difference between being self-sufficient and then actually being too dominant or too masculine. I feel like the world got that misconstrued. I mean, as a woman, because I'm single, I'm not supposed to have a house, a car. I'm not supposed to have a good paying job. You know, some people will say, oh, well, you're too independent. No, I'm self-sufficient. You want a woman that can be able to do those things. Say if you fall off, then now you got a woman that is good for nothing and your family is in disarray because she cannot. The difference between if she can do something versus she should do something. I would argue, and a lot of people would take this for the wrong way, but I'm going to say it anyway. I would argue all because you can do something does not mean you should be able to do something. There are certain things that are meant for men. There are certain things that are meant for women. I know we live in this world where, oh, anything you can do, I can do better. No, I can't. I'm a dame in distress, okay? I need a good man. I would argue any woman that says that she does not need a man has not had a man. Same thing with men. Any man that says he doesn't need a woman has not had a woman. These men or women have had leeches or broken pieces of fragments of men and women. You know what I'm saying? So if you find yourself feeling that way, then you probably have not experienced the multitude of what God wants you to experience when it comes to the opposite sex. All right, that's the end of my video. I came up with a couple of boundaries that need to be set to have a healthy, happy relationship. Self-care, it's about awareness, it's about doing what's right. And these boundaries, there are other things as well. Comment below if you are thinking about other boundaries that need to be set in a relationship. But to me, those spoke volumes to me, because that's what I need in a relationship. So let me know what you need in a relationship in the comment description down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this type of content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.